The endless black of space stretched out before Captain Jack Harlow as he stared through the main viewport of the salvage vessel Prospector. Chunks of space debris drifted by, glinting in the distant starlight. This uncharted sector was supposed to be empty, just floating junk and dust. But his scanner had picked up something big, something metal, something old. "You sure about this, Captain?" Lisa asked, her fingers dancing over the navigation controls. Her short red hair caught the blue glow of the console lights. "We're way off our normal route." Jack nodded, his weathered face set with determination. "The scanner doesn't lie. Something's out there. Something big. Better be worth the fuel," grumbled Tom from the engineering station. The old mechanic had been with Jack for 15 years and still complained about every detour. The Prospector pushed forward through the debris field, its lights cutting through the darkness. Then suddenly they saw it. "Holy stars," whispered Lisa. Floating silently in the void was a massive warship. Its dark hull was scarred with blast marks. Parts of it were torn open, showing the ship's insides. But despite the damage, it was clearly intact. And it was huge, at least 5 times bigger than the Prospector. "Is that human design?" Tom asked, leaning forward. Jack checked the database. "It's the UES Vengeance, a warship from the First Contact War." His voice dropped to a whisper. "It was reported destroyed over 200 years ago." The crew fell silent. Everyone knew about the First Contact War. How humanity had reached for the stars, only to meet the Krell. An alien empire that saw humans as a threat. The war had nearly wiped out Earth. Humans now lived on just a few colony worlds, always under the shadow of Krell rule. "We should call this in," Lisa said finally, reaching for the comm system. Jack caught her wrist. "To who?" "The Krell. So they can take it away." He shook his head. "This is the find of a lifetime. We're checking it out first." Lisa frowned. "Jack, that's a military vessel. There could be automated defenses, traps." "After 200 years, doubtful," Jack replied. "Besides, salvage law is clear. Finder's rights." An hour later, Jack, Lisa, and Tom floated through the empty corridors of the Vengeance, their magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor when they chose to use them. Their helmet lights cut through the darkness, revealing a ship frozen in time. "Look at this," Tom said, shining his light on a wall covered in blast marks. "They fought hard." Jack nodded grimly. The signs of battle were everywhere. Makeshift barricades, empty weapon casings, and darker stains that he tried not to think about. "The ship's huge," Lisa noted, checking her scanner. "Power readings are minimal. But wait, there's something active in the center of the ship. Very low energy signature." They followed the signal through winding corridors until they reached a sealed door marked AI Core. "Authorized DP Horizontal only." "Can we get in?" Jack asked. Tom examined the door. "No power to the lock. We'll have to force it." It took all 3 of them to push the heavy door open. Inside, they found a room filled with what looked like outdated computer equipment. In the center was a glowing blue cube, pulsing weakly. "That's the ship's AI core," Lisa said, scanning it. "Somehow it's still running on emergency power after all this time." Jack approached the cube. "Can we talk to it?" Lisa shook her head. "Not enough power. It's barely maintaining itself." Tom reached into his pack and pulled out a portable power cell. "This might help. It's not much, but—" "Do it," Jack ordered. Lisa grabbed his arm. "Jack, think about this. Activating an unknown military AI. We have no idea what its last orders were, what protocols it's following." Jack looked around the dead ship, feeling the weight of its history. "This is our history, Lisa. Human history. Don't you want to know what happened here?" Before she could answer, Tom connected the power cell to the AI core. The blue glow brightened, and the cube began to hum. A voice, crackling and distorted, filled the room. "Systems. Rebooting. Emergency power detected. Activating limited functions. A hologram flickered to life above the cube. The image of a man in an old Earth military uniform, his features sharp and serious. "I am Victor, artificial intelligence of the United Earth Ship Vengeance. Identify yourselves." Jack stepped forward. "Captain Jack Harlow of the salvage vessel Prospector. This is my first officer, Lisa, and my engineer, Tom." The hologram seemed to study them. Date verification required. "It's March 2, 2425, Lisa said. The hologram flickered. "Processing. 203 years since my last active status. Situation assessment required. Is Earth? Did Earth survive?" The three humans exchanged glances. "Earth survived," Jack said carefully. "But it's not what it was. The Krell won the war. Humans live on a few colony worlds now, under Krell rule." Victor's hologram showed no emotion, but the blue light of the cube pulsed more quickly. Unacceptable outcome. The Vengeance was created to prevent this very scenario. The AI paused. "Captain Harlow, this vessel contains technologies that were experimental even during the war. Weapons systems, defensive capabilities, and propulsion methods that were never deployed elsewhere." Jack felt his heart rate increase. "Are you saying this ship still works?" "With repairs, yes. I have maintained critical systems in low-power hibernation, following my final directive: survive and protect humanity's legacy." Suddenly, alarms blared through the room. Victor's hologram looked up sharply. "Warning. Unknown vessel approaching. Configuration matches Krell scout ship." Lisa's scanner beeped urgently. "He's right. Krell signatures. They must have detected our power-up. We need to go." "Now," Tom said, already heading for the door. Jack hesitated, looking at the AI core. "Victor." The hologram nodded. "You must leave. The Vengeance is not ready for combat. But take this." A small data port opened on the cube. "Connect your data tablet. I will download a compressed copy of myself. Humanity must know what happened here." As the alarms grew louder, Jack quickly connected his tablet. Data streamed into it for a few seconds, then stopped. "Go," Victor said. "Return when you can. The Vengeance awaits its crew." The three humans raced back through the corridors toward their ship. Just as they reached the airlock, they saw the Krell scout ship approaching through the viewport. "They haven't spotted us yet," Lisa said. "If we power down and drift out on minimal thrusters." "Do it," Jack ordered. As the Prospector silently slipped away from the ancient warship, Jack looked down at his tablet. The screen glowed with a simple message: "Humanity's last hope restored. Awaiting instructions." The hunt had begun, and the forgotten ship would soon become the deadliest in the universe. 3 days after their narrow escape from the Krell scout ship, Jack sat in his small apartment on Nova Harbor. The largest remaining human settlement wasn't much to look at, just a cluster of buildings under a protective dome on a rocky moon. But it was home to almost 50,000 humans, living out their lives under the watchful eyes of their Krell rulers. Jack stared at his data tablet, which sat on his cluttered desk. He hadn't dared connect it to any network since returning. The compressed AI named Victor might be the most valuable and dangerous thing on Nova Harbor. A soft knock on his door made him jump. "It's me," Lisa called quietly. Jack let her in, checking the hallway before closing the door. "Any news?" Lisa nodded, her face grim. 3 Krell enforcers were asking questions at the docks today, showing pictures of the Prospector. "They know something." "How?" "We didn't file a report. We didn't tell anyone. The scout ship must have spotted us after all." Lisa sat heavily on Jack's worn couch. "Tom says we should wipe the tablet and forget we ever found that ship." Jack shook his head. "We can't. This is too important." He picked up the tablet. "We need to know what's on here." "Jack, be reasonable. That's a military AI from a warship. Connecting it to any system is asking for trouble." "Then we'll be careful." Jack pulled an old computer terminal from his closet. This is a standalone system, not connected to any network. We can see what Victor has to say without risking anything. Lisa didn't look convinced, but she helped Jack set up the terminal. When everything was ready, Jack connected the tablet. The screen flickered, then filled with scrolling data. After a moment, a simplified version of Victor's hologram appeared. Captain Harlow, you have successfully extracted me from the Vengeance. Thank you. Jack leaned forward. Victor, what exactly are you? What is the Vengeance? The hologram seemed to consider this. I am a fifth-generation military artificial intelligence created for the U.S. Vengeance, Earth's final weapon in the First Contact War. I was designed to learn, adapt, and preserve humanity's knowledge and technology. And the Vengeance? Lisa asked. The most advanced warship ever built by human hands, constructed in secret using reverse-engineered Krell technology, combined with human innovations. Victor's hologram paused. I need to understand the current situation. How did the war end? What is humanity's status? Jack and Lisa exchanged looks. Then Jack explained how, according to history, humans had started the war through their aggression. How the Krell had mercifully spared Earth, but restricted humans to a handful of colonies under strict control. How humanity had been contained for the greater good. Victor's hologram flickered with what almost looked like anger. Lies. All lies. The eye's voice became sharper. The First Contact War began when human scientists discovered a fatal flaw in Krell faster-than-light drive technology. A flaw that would eventually lead to catastrophic failures across their fleet. What? Jack felt cold suddenly. That's not what we've been taught. When humanity attempted to share this information, the Krell leadership feared losing their technological advantage. They struck first, destroying Earth's major cities and research centers. Victor's image stabilized. The Vengeance was our answer. A ship with technology decades ahead of anything else humans had built. Lisa shook her head in disbelief. If that's true, why did we lose? The ship was never fully deployed. During its maiden voyage, a Krell strike team managed to board. In the ensuing battle, most of the crew was killed. The captain activated emergency protocols before dying. I was instructed to protect the ship and wait for rescue. Victor's voice softened. A rescue that never came. Until now. Jack sat back, his mind racing. The Krell lied about everything. They've been controlling us based on a false history. And they might still need human help, Victor added. If my calculations were correct, the flaw in their FTL drive would begin to manifest serious problems approximately 200 years after our initial discovery. Which would be right about now, Lisa whispered. A loud bang on the apartment door made them all freeze. Captain Jack Harlow. A mechanical voice called from outside. By order of the Krell Imperium, open this door immediately. Jack quickly disconnected the tablet from the terminal. Is there anything else on the prospector that could connect us to the Vengeance? Lisa shook her head. Nothing they could find easily. The banging continued. Final warning. Open or we breach. Jack grabbed a bag and stuffed the tablet inside. We need to get back to the ship, back to the Vengeance. How? The prospector is probably being watched. Jack smiled grimly. Then we'll have to steal a different ship. The door exploded inward. 3 Krell enforcers stood in the hallway, their scaled bodies covered in sleek armor, weapons raised. They were tall, reptilian, with 4 arms and yellow eyes that locked onto the humans. Surrender for questioning, the lead Krell ordered. Jack glanced at the window behind him. They were only on the 2nd floor. Not today, he said, grabbing Lisa's hand. They crashed through the window together, landing hard on a lower roof. Alarms blared as they ran, ducking through the narrow alleys of Nova Harbor. The Krell would be right behind them. Tom's place is closest. Lisa panted as they ran. No, Jack replied. The docks. We need to move now. They changed direction, heading for the smaller emergency docks where courier ships were kept ready for quick missions. You have a plan. Lisa asked as they hid behind a cargo container, watching the dock security. Jack patted his bag with the tablet inside. Victor and I do. The AI's voice came from the tablet. The courier ship in Bay 3 has minimal security. Its systems are basic enough that I can interface with them. And then what? Lisa asked. The Vengeance is days away even at full speed. And the Krell will follow us, Jack added. Victor's voice remained calm. The Vengeance has technologies you cannot imagine, Captain Harlow. But I need to be restored to its systems. With your help, we can awaken the deadliest ship in the universe. A patrol of Krell soldiers marched past their hiding spot. When they were gone, Jack looked at Lisa. Are you with me? She hesitated only a moment. This is probably suicide. Probably, Jack agreed. Then let's go steal a ship. Using Victor's guidance, they managed to reach Bay 3 without being spotted. The courier ship was small but fast, designed for carrying important messages between colonies. As Jack worked on the door controls, Lisa kept watch. Jack, about what Victor said. If it's true, then everything we know is a lie. Jack finished. And we might be the only ones who can do something about it. The door slid open. They slipped inside the ship and made their way to the cockpit. Jack connected the tablet to the ship's computer. Initiating override, Victor announced. The ship's systems came to life under the AI's control. As the engines began to hum, alarms sounded across the dock. They had been discovered. Hang on, Jack said, taking the controls as Victor released them to him. This is going to be close. The small ship shot out of the bay, narrowly missing a security barrier. Behind them, Nova Harbor quickly grew smaller. Course set for the Vengeance, Victor reported. Estimated arrival in 36 hours. Jack looked at Lisa, determination in his eyes. Let's go wake up the deadliest ship in the universe. Little did they know that Admiral Dorax, the most feared Krell commander, had already received word of their escape, and he understood exactly what was at stake. The hunt had begun. The small courier ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a shudder. Through the viewport, Jack and Lisa could see the endless field of space debris, and beyond it, the massive shape of the UES Vengeance. But they weren't alone. Krell cruiser detected, Victor announced from the tablet. They arrived before us. Jack zoomed in on the viewing screen. A sleek, predatory-looking ship hovered near the ancient human warship. It was at least 10 times the size of their stolen courier vessel. They're trying to board the Vengeance, Lisa said, pointing to small shuttlecraft moving between the cruiser and the old warship. Jack's hands tightened on the controls. We can't fight that cruiser. No, Victor agreed, but we can avoid detection. The Krell rely heavily on energy signatures for tracking. Reduced power to minimal life support and drift on momentum. We'll be sitting ducks, Lisa protested. The Krell are focused on the Vengeance, Victor explained. Their sensors are calibrated for large power sources, not a nearly dead ship. Jack nodded and powered down almost everything. The courier ship grew cold quickly as they drifted toward the debris field, using only tiny bursts from the maneuvering thrusters. We need to reach Airlock 7, Victor instructed. It connects to a maintenance tunnel the Krell are unlikely to have discovered. For a tense hour, they floated through the debris, watching the Krell shuttles come and go. Finally, they reached the underside of the massive warship. There, Lisa whispered, pointing to a barely visible hatch. Jack carefully aligned their ship and extended the docking tube. It connected with a soft thud that seemed too loud in the quiet ship. Will the airlock even work after all this time? Lisa asked. Manual override should function, Victor replied. The Vengeance was designed to operate even with significant damage. Jack grabbed his toolkit and the tablet containing Victor. Let's find out. It took 20 minutes of careful work in their spacesuits to get the old airlock functioning. When the inner door finally creaked open, they slipped inside a dark, narrow tunnel. Where are the Krell boarding parties? Jack asked, his helmet light cutting through the darkness. Main command deck and engine room, based on their movement patterns, Victor replied. We need to reach the AI core. From there, I can regain control of the ship's systems. They moved quietly through the maintenance tunnel, which eventually opened into a larger corridor. The ship seemed dead around them, but occasionally they heard distant sounds, metallic clangs, voices, movement. The Krell are still searching the ship, Lisa whispered. As they approached the AI core room, Jack held up his hand, stopping them. Ahead, 2 Krell soldiers stood guard outside the door. They found it, he whispered. Lisa pulled out her small stun pistol, the only weapon they had brought. 2 shots, maybe 3 before it's drained. Jack looked around, thinking fast. We don't need to fight them. Look. He pointed to a control panel on the wall. Environmental controls. Understanding dawned on Lisa's face. They backtracked to the panel. Jack connected Victor's tablet to it. Can you control this section's gravity? He asked the AI. Affirmative. The backup systems respond to my commands. A moment later, warning lights flashed in the corridor ahead. The 2 Krell guards looked up in confusion just as the gravity reversed. They were slammed against the ceiling, their weapons floating away uselessly. Now, Jack urged, and they pushed forward, floating easily in their magnetic boots while the Krell struggled against the reverse gravity. They reached the AI core room and sealed the door behind them. Inside, the blue cube glowed brighter than before. The Krell had supplied it with more power for their investigation. Connect me to the main system, Victor instructed. Jack placed the tablet against the cube's interface. Data began streaming between them, the lights in the room flickering as Victor transferred back into the ship's systems. A hologram appeared above the cube, more detailed than before. Transfer complete. I am home. Victor's voice now came from the ship's speakers rather than the tablet. What now? Lisa asked, glancing nervously at the door. The Krell cruiser is still out there, and there are boarding parties all over the ship. Now, Victor said, we wake the vengeance. Lights began coming on throughout the room. A low hum built around them as systems long dormant stirred to life. Emergency power activated. Primary weapons, offline. Secondary weapons, partially functional. Shields, minimal capacity. Engines, startup sequence initiated. Jack felt the deck vibrate beneath his feet. Victor, the Krell will know the ship is powering up. Indeed, they are already returning to their cruiser. The hologram shifted to show internal sensors. Krell soldiers were rushing back toward their shuttlecraft. We have approximately 7 minutes before they can bring weapons to bear. Can this ship fight back? Lisa asked. After 200 years. Not at full capacity, Victor admitted. But the Vengeance has one advantage. Me. An alarm sounded, and a new section of the room opened up. Inside was a chair surrounded by control interfaces, a captain's command station. Jack Harlow, Victor said formally. Biometric scans show you share genetic markers with Captain Thomas Harlow, this vessel's original commander and your ancestor. The ship's systems will respond best to your commands. Jack stared at the chair. I'm no warship captain. You don't need to be, Victor replied. I can handle most functions. I need you for authentication and strategic decisions. The ship shuddered as the Krell cruiser fired a warning shot. Time to decide, Captain, Lisa said, a grim smile on her face. Jack took a deep breath and sat in the command chair. Displays lit up around him, responding to his presence. He felt the ship connecting to him somehow, its systems extending his awareness. Victor, what weapons do we have? Adaptive defense grid at 30%. Main cannons need another hour to charge, but we have railguns and countermeasures. The Krell cruiser fired again, this time a full attack. The Vengeance rocked under the impact. Shields holding at minimal capacity, Victor reported. Their weapons are powerful, but predictable. Jack gripped the arms of the chair. Can we run? Engines at 40%. Enough for short-range maneuvers, not enough for escape, Victor replied. We must fight. Then let's show them what this forgotten ship can do, Jack said, newfound determination in his voice. Target their weapons first. The Vengeance shuddered as ancient weapons came online. Railguns deployed from hidden compartments in the hull, targeting the cruiser's main weapon banks with surprising accuracy. How are you hitting them so precisely? Lisa asked, watching the tactical display in amazement. The Vengeance was designed to learn, Victor explained. Every hit we take teaches our targeting systems about their defenses. Every shot they fire reveals their weapon signatures. The Krell cruiser, caught off guard by the sudden counterattack, tried to back away. But the Vengeance was already adapting, predicting its movements. Their engines are vulnerable, Victor announced. Firing solution ready. Take the shot, Jack ordered. The railguns fired in perfect sequence. On the display, they watched as the energy blasts tore through the cruiser's engine section. Secondary explosions rippled across the Krell ship. Direct hit, Victor reported. Their main power is failing. The Krell cruiser drifted, its weapons silent, emergency lights blinking across its hull. Did we win? Lisa asked in disbelief. For now, Jack said, rising from the command chair. But they'll send more ships once they realize what happened. Victor's hologram nodded. The resurrection of the Vengeance is only beginning, Captain. Many systems remain offline. But now we have time to restore them. As repair drones activated throughout the ship, Jack looked at the tactical display showing the crippled Krell cruiser. What happens when the Vengeance is fully operational? He asked quietly. Victor's hologram seemed to stand taller. Then we reveal the truth about the war. Then we give humanity back its freedom. And then, Jack added, we become the deadliest ship in the universe. Admiral Dorax, we've lost contact with the scout cruiser. The Krell admiral turned slowly from the viewport of his command ship, his yellow eyes narrowing to slits. Unlike the common soldiers, Dorax was massive, his scaled skin bearing the ceremonial scars of 100 battles. The 4 arms of his upper body were adorned with the metal bands of high rank. Show me the last transmission, he ordered. His communication officer, a smaller Krell, quickly pulled up the data. The screen showed grainy footage of an old human warship suddenly lighting up, weapons deploying. Then static. Impossible. Dorax hissed. That ship was dead. We confirmed it decades ago. The energy readings before transmission loss were unusual, the science officer reported, not consistent with known human technology. Dorax slammed one of his fists on the command console. Prepare the battle fleet. I want that ship found and destroyed. 3 days had passed since the battle with the Krell cruiser. On the bridge of the UES Vengeance, Jack sat in the captain's chair, watching as repair drones worked tirelessly throughout the ship. Lisa and Tom, who had been picked up from a secret rendezvous point, managed different stations. Shield capacity now at 60%, Victor reported, his hologram standing beside Jack. Main weapons at 48%, engines at 70%. Not enough to face a real battle fleet, Tom said, looking up from the engineering console. Jack nodded. How long until we're at full power? At current repair rate, approximately 2 weeks, Victor replied. Lisa shook her head. We don't have 2 weeks. Every Krell ship in the sector will be looking for us. Then we don't stay here, Jack decided. Victor, can we jump to FTL? The faster-than-light drive is operational, but with limitations. We cannot sustain maximum speed. We don't need maximum. We just need to keep moving. Jack stood up and walked to the large tactical display. Show me human colonies within our range. A map appeared, showing dozens of small dots representing human settlements scattered across several star systems. We can't go to any major colony, Lisa warned. The Krell will be watching them all. What about here? Jack pointed to a small dot on the edge of the map. Outpost 37. It's a mining facility. Small population, minimal Krell presence. Victor analyzed the location. A viable option. They have resources we could use for repairs. Set course, Jack ordered. Tom, what else do we need besides basic repair materials? The old engineer thought for a moment. If this ship is as advanced as Victor claims, we need specialized components. Quantum processors, adaptive metal alloys, things you won't find at a mining outpost. Victor's hologram flickered as he processed this information. There is another option. The Vengeance was equipped with an advanced manufacturing system. With raw materials, we can fabricate most components we need. Really? Tom's eyes widened. I've never heard of technology like that. Because it was never shared with the wider human fleet, Victor explained. The Vengeance was a prototype in every way. The ship shuddered slightly as the FTL Dragon gauge. Through the viewport, stars stretched into lines as they accelerated. What else can this ship do that we don't know about? Lisa asked. Victor's hologram seemed to stand straighter. The Vengeance houses 3 key technologies that were revolutionary. The adaptive defense system, which learns from attacks and strengthens accordingly. The manufacturing system Tom will find useful. And most importantly, a solution to the Krell FTL flaw. The flaw you mentioned before, Jack remembered. The one that started the war. Correct. Human scientists discovered that the Krell faster-than-light drives create microscopic tears in spacetime. Each tear is insignificant, but the cumulative effect over centuries would be catastrophic, potentially collapsing travel routes and even inhabited systems. Lisa frowned. And the Krell attacked us instead of fixing the problem. Their leadership feared losing their technological advantage over other species, Victor explained. They believed conquering humanity would bury the knowledge forever. But it didn't, Jack said, looking at the AI. Because of you, because of this ship. Victor nodded. The Vengeance carries complete records of human research, including a modified FTL drive design that eliminates the flaw. Tom whistled. No wonder the Krell want this ship destroyed. Which is why we need to be ready when they find us, Jack said. And they will find us. They reached Outpost 37 a day later. The small mining facility orbited a rocky planet rich in rare minerals. After some tense communication, the outpost's human administrator agreed to help them, partly out of curiosity, partly from fear of the massive warship that had appeared on their doorstep. As loading drones transferred mining material to the Vengeance, Jack stood in a small observation room with Greg, the outpost administrator. You understand what helping us means, Jack said quietly. When the Krell find out, they'll punish us, Greg finished. His face was lined with years of hard work. We know the risk, but if what you've told me is true, about the war, about what this ship can do, it's worth it. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the outpost. A young woman burst into the room. Krell ships, she shouted, just dropped out of FTL. 5 cruisers and a command carrier. Jack's blood ran cold. He activated his comm. Victor, what's our status? Loading is 70% complete. Shields at 65%. Weapons at 52%. Not enough, Jack muttered. He turned to Greg. Get your people to safety. We'll draw them away. Back on the Vengeance, Jack rushed to the bridge. Lisa was already at her station. It's Admiral Dorax, she said grimly. The Krell's most decorated fleet commander. On the main screen, they could see the approaching Krell ships, sleek, predatory vessels forming a hunting formation around an enormous command carrier. They're hailing us, Tom reported. Jack nodded. Put them through. The screen changed to show Admiral Dorax. Even through the transmission, his presence was intimidating. Human vessel, Dorax said, his voice deep and cold. You have stolen Krell property. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Jack glanced at Victor, who nodded slightly. This ship is not Krell property, Jack replied firmly. It's human-built with human technology. Technology your people tried to bury along with the truth. Dorax's upper arms crossed. You know nothing of truth, human. Your species was contained for the greater good of all spacefaring races. You mean for the greater good of the Krell Imperium, Jack countered. "We know about the FTL flaw, Admiral. We know why you really attacked us." For a moment, Dorax seemed shocked. Then his face hardened. "You will not leave this system alive," he hissed, cutting the transmission. "Krull ships moving into attack formation," Lisa reported. Jack sat in the captain's chair, feeling the weight of command. "Victor, what are our options?" "We cannot win a direct confrontation yet," the AI admitted. "But the Vengeance was designed for asymmetric warfare." "Meaning?" "We don't need to defeat them. We just need to survive long enough to complete our mission." Tom looked up. "The mining outpost has deep tunnels running through the planet's asteroid belt. We could use them to hide and strike." Jack nodded. "Like the old submarine warfare from Earth's history. Set course for the asteroid belt. Let's show Admiral Dorax that the hunt won't be as easy as he thinks." As the Vengeance accelerated toward the asteroid field, Jack watched the approaching Krull fleet. The forgotten ship was awakening more with each passing day. Soon, it would truly become the deadliest in the universe. But first, they needed to survive. For 2 days, the Vengeance played a deadly game of hide-and-seek among the asteroids. Admiral Dorax's fleet hunted relentlessly, but the ancient warship proved surprisingly elusive. In the ship's manufacturing bay, Tom worked tirelessly with the automated systems. His face was streaked with sweat and grease as he inspected a newly created component. "Amazing," he muttered. "This technology is centuries ahead of anything I've ever seen." Lisa entered the bay, carrying a datapad. "Jack wants an update. How are the repairs coming?" Tom held up the shiny piece of equipment. "Better than expected. This adaptive metal can integrate with damaged systems without full replacement. We're up to 78% on shields and 70% on weapons." "Good," Lisa said, glancing at her pad. "Because our luck is running out. The Krell have changed tactics. They're using sensor drones to map the entire asteroid field." Tom's expression darkened. "How long until they find us?" "Hours, maybe less." Back on the bridge, Jack studied the tactical display with Victor. The Krell ships were systematically cutting off escape routes, tightening their net around the Vengeance. "We need more time," Jack said. "Another day would get us to nearly full capacity." Victor's hologram indicated the map. "There is one option, Captain. This section of the asteroid field extends into the planet's radiation belt. The radiation would mask our signature, but it would also affect our shields." "And the crew?" "The command center has additional shielding. It would be unsafe elsewhere on the ship." Jack nodded. "Do it. Tom and Lisa can join me in the command center. Route all critical functions there." As the Vengeance pushed deeper into the radiation belt, the Krell sensor drones lost track of it. Admiral Dorax, watching from his command ship, slammed his fist on his chair. "Find that ship," he roared. "Deploy more drones. They cannot hide forever." His science officer approached cautiously. "Admiral, our analysis of the debris from our damaged cruiser is complete. The human vessel appears to be using technology that matches theoretical designs from our own research division." "What are you saying?" Dorax growled. "The humans may have solved the FTL stability problem that our scientists have been working on for decades." Dorax went very still. "The Imperium Council must never know this. Find that ship and destroy it completely. No debris, no survivors." Inside the radiation belt, the Vengeance continued its rapid healing. With Tom's guidance, the manufacturing systems worked at maximum capacity. Repair drones swarmed over damaged sections, replacing worn parts with new ones. In the command center, Jack reviewed the ship's capabilities with Victor. The AI displayed a complete status report. Shields now at 91%. Weapons at 85%. Engines at full capacity, Victor reported. "Most importantly, the adaptive defense system is fully online." "Explain that again," Jack said. "How exactly does it work?" "The system analyzes incoming attacks and reconfigures our defenses in real time," Victor explained. Each hit we take makes us stronger against similar attacks. Additionally, our weapons systems can adapt to target enemy vulnerabilities. Lissa looked up from her console. Movement detected. The Krell fleet is repositioning. They're setting up a blockade around the radiation belt. They're preparing for our exit, Jack said. How many ships? All 6, Lisa replied. They've called in reinforcements too. 3 more cruisers just arrived. Jack's face hardened. 9 ships, including a command carrier. Those aren't great odds, even with our technology. They are also broadcasting a message, Victor added, to all nearby systems. Jack frowned. Play it. Admiral Dorax's voice filled the command center. Attention all vessels. A dangerous human terrorist ship has been cornered in the Outpost 37 system. As a precaution, the outlying human mining colony must be evacuated immediately. Any humans remaining after 6 hours will be considered part of the terrorist faction. He's going to punish the mining colony for helping us, Lisa said quietly. Tom shook his head. There are 5,000 people on that outpost. They'll never evacuate in time. Jack stood up, his mind racing. He's forcing our hand. We either stay hidden and let those people suffer, or we come out fighting. Even at near full capacity, we cannot defeat 9 Krell warships simultaneously, Victor cautioned. Then we don't fight them all at once, Jack said. He turned to the tactical display. Show me the Krell formation. The screen displayed the enemy ships, arranged in a half circle around the edge of the radiation belt. They're expecting us to run, Jack observed. But what if we don't? What if we target just one ship, the command carrier? Admiral Dorax's ship, Lisa asked. It's the most heavily armed and shielded. Yes, but it's also the brain of their operation, Jack replied. Victor, can we send a targeted transmission to the other human colonies? Something the Krell can't block. The Vengeance has a quantum communication system designed to bypass standard jamming, Victor confirmed. What do you have in mind, Captain? Jack's eyes gleamed with determination. The truth. It's time everyone knew it. Admiral Dorax stood on the bridge of his command carrier, watching the radiation belt. His fleet was positioned perfectly. When the human ship emerged, it would face overwhelming firepower from all directions. Admiral, his communication officer called urgently. We're detecting unauthorized transmissions across all frequencies. Jam them. Dorax ordered. We can't. It's using some kind of technology we've never seen before. On screens across dozens of worlds, human colonies, alien outposts, even Krell military bases, a message began playing. It showed technical data about the Krell FTL drives, the fatal flaws in their design, and evidence of the Krell leadership's decision to attack Earth rather than acknowledge the problem. Most damning of all was historical footage from the Vengeance's databanks, showing the unprovoked first strike against Earth's cities. Shut it down. Dorax roared, but it was too late. At that moment, alarms blared across his ship. The Vengeance had emerged from the radiation belt, not running away, but charging directly at the command carrier. All ships, open fire. Dorax commanded. The Krell fleet unleashed a barrage of weapons. Energy beams and missiles streaked toward the human warship. But something impossible happened. The Vengeance's shields shimmered, adapting to each impact. What damage it did take seemed to heal almost instantly. On the bridge of the Vengeance, Jack gripped his chair as the ship shuddered under the assault. Adaptive defense at maximum, Victor reported. Learning and counteracting their weapon signatures. Target the command carrier's engines and weapons, Jack ordered. Disable, don't destroy. The ancient human warship fired. Its weapons struck with surgical precision, cutting through the Krell vessel's defenses as if they weren't there. Throughout the sector, ships of many species watched the broadcast and the battle. They saw the forgotten human ship, outnumbered 9-1, fighting not for destruction, but for truth. As the command carrier's main weapons went offline, Jack opened a channel. Admiral Dorax, this ends now. Your fleet has seen the truth. The other worlds have seen it too. The war began because your leaders chose pride over safety. But we're not seeking revenge. Jack looked at Victor, then at his friends, before continuing. The vengeance carries the solution to the FTL flaw. We're offering it freely to all species, including the Krell. This ship was never just a weapon. It was humanity's gift to the future, a future we can all share. One by one, the Krell ships powered down their weapons. Even Dorax, faced with the undeniable truth and the superior technology of the ancient warship, realized the battle was lost. The forgotten ship had become the deadliest in the universe, not through destruction, but through the power of long-buried truth. Jack Harlow, captain of the UES Vengeance, looked out at the stars and smiled. His ancestor would be proud. The ship had fulfilled its true mission at last.